Francisco Lindor is having his best season as a big leaguer and one of the better shortstop seasons we've seen in quite some time, but is that enough to beat the unicorn Shohei Ohtani, who, yes, did go yard again yesterday? He is so close to a 50-50 season. Kyle Tucker, he's finally back from the IL, but of course, Yordan Alvarez stole the show. An Angels rookie just made MLB history, and it was pretty fun history if you ask me, and Anthony Rizzo, he made his return to Wrigley for the first time since being traded back in 2021. So we're going to talk about all of that and more in today's MLB Recap. And guys, don't forget that Recap is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code Fuzzy to save 20 bucks off all of your tickets. And a ton of you guys have been crushing it on Underdog Fantasy, my favorite daily fantasy app. When you sign up using code Fuzzy, you get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. And with my code, you get this free Dak Prescott pick'em. Don't miss out. So before we talk about an actual walk-off, we had a pretty insane walk-off web gem to end this Rockies and Brewers game. A guy named Big Mike, yes, that's his actual birth name. I'm obviously joking around. Michael Toglia crushed a 3-run moonshot in between a few RBI base hits from Joey Ortiz. Michael Toglia, by the way, has 23 home runs. He completely ruined Frankie Montas's gem. I guess he still came away with a quality start. Again, Ortiz, he brought in another, I guess it wasn't an RBI on the second, was a Rockies error that gave Milwaukee a free run. So it's a one-run game in the ninth inning. Reese, he skywent to center field, and they ran on Brenton Doyle. Fools! You don't run on Brenton Doyle, Hunter Renfroe, a couple other guys in baseball. That's just bad scouting in my opinion. And a tip of the cap to Ryan Feltner, who went 6 innings, had 6 strikeouts, 2 base hits. The Rockies beat the Brewers. All right, so here's an actual walk-off. I'm going to trim a lot of fat from this game and just show the home runs because they were some big ones. Lindor, I guess I'll show this as well. He secured a 34-game on-base streak. He has a 16-game hit streak. And this Mark Vientos freak is making Mets fans say, Brett Baty, who? That is a 2-run tater. He's got 23 home runs. He's so close to a 900 OPS on the season. I know this is not a home run, but I do have to show this because it's history. TJ Friedl went 940 plate appearances without hitting into a double play. That's the 3rd longest streak since 1933. He ends it on that swing. Ellie, we are tied up. He tied Mark Vientos with his 23rd home run of the season. And also, by the way, that ties a single season record for the most home runs hit by a Red, who was also a switch hitter. The Mets went up by 2 when TJ Friedl, he smacked the lefty no doubter. This dude rigs. He is so much fun to watch play the outfield and when he's in the box because he doesn't care about going lefty. Edwin, he came in and he decimated the Reds. He had 3 strikeouts to keep it 4-4. Mark, he's up again, and they should have walked him. Like, Pete Alonso might have been a better option, and that's not a great look for Pete Alonso, but they probably should have done it because the Mets have now won 8 games in a row. This was the 2nd walk-off home run already of the year for Mark Vientos, who now has 24 home runs and a 905 OPS. Again, Brett Baty, who? So we do have another walk-off to talk about, but first I'm going to show this Guardians and Dodgers game because we got to talk about the 2-time MVP Ohtani, the fact that he might not be a 3-time MVP. We'll talk about that. Let's have a prayer circle around Teoscar Hernandez because we never like to see guys hobbled up. I'm praying that he's going to be okay, especially considering the Dodgers, they just lost Gavin Stone. He's been a rookie sensation for them. He's got shoulder inflammation. I mean, that Dodgers team is completely cursed. No BS. Someone has a Dodgers voodoo doll out there. Shout out to Landon Knack. He was trying his best to hang on. He carved through 5 scoreless with a bunch of strikeouts. He made 1 mistake pitch to Andres Gimenez, who all of a sudden remembered how to hit home runs. He's got 3 over the last few weeks. Matthew Boyd, he made 1 mistake pitch as well. Not in this at-bat. Ohtani, he waved at the nasty slider. In his 3rd at-bat, he got a middle. I don't know what that was, a changeup. Ohtani sent out his 45th home run. He also has 46 stolen bases. Keep those stats in mind. Brian Rocchio, he pimped a home run. The rookie is hitting 300 with 3 home runs, a 370 on base his last 15 games, and he's got 7 outs above average and 12 DRS. I'm going to be hyperbolic, but he's looking like a mini Lindor. Now, the Dodgers did threaten after Boyd came out the game, but Hunter Gaddis, he got CT3 Chris Taylor to ground into a double play. I was sweating. Clase, he's got 42 saves, a 0.69 ERA. Now, before we show off Lindor versus Ohtani, who's the MVP, I got to tip my cap to Matthew Boyd. He's got a 2.2 ERA and 5 starts with the Guardians. He's basically been the second-half version of Ben Lively. He's saving the rotation. All right, here we go. Francisco Lindor versus Shohei Ohtani. Who should be the MVP? Now, fans across baseball have said that MVP has basically become an offensive award, just like in the NFL, it's become a quarterback award. award. Judge, he's played terrible defense, but he's the clear MVP. Ohtani, he doesn't play defense, yet he's about to go 50-50, so that's 100% going to get him MVP. But if you look at Lindor, he's playing platinum level defense while being on pace for 34 home runs, 30 stolen bases, and an almost 8.5 WAR season. That's more than Ohtani, but the fact that Ohtani is keeping up in WAR despite not playing defense, that's how insane he's been on the offensive side of things. So let me know, do you think that Lindor's defense should boost them up in the MVP race? What about Bobby in the AL? Because Judge and Ohtani, they're so historically good offensively that they muddy the conversation because we've rarely seen this. So when defense comes into play, yeah, it makes it closer, but Judge and Ohtani, they're still kind of running away with MVPs despite the fact that Lindor and Bobby have been playing platinum defense. Okay, we have one more game to talk about before we show the other walk-off, and this is important because if the Braves don't win, the Mets will officially leapfrog them in the wild card standings. Jared Kelenic is choosing the perfect time to get hot. He singles in one. Gio Urshela, I mean, Kevin Gausman is getting flat out MLB The Show. Just a bunch of little hits followed by bloops and everything like that. And then a double play that they couldn't turn because Michael Harris is way too fast. They were up by 3. Now it's 2 because Vladdy, what is this? Just straight out of MLB The Show. He dribbled one for an RBI ground out. I'll just spoil it. That was all that the Jays could get off of Max Fried. Orlando Arcia, he helped out in the 7th. A nice jumping play. And again, Max Fried was dominant. 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, just the 1 run. That's big for the Braves because when you can go Max Fried, who's now looking like he's healthy, Chris Sale, Reynaldo Lopez, Charlie Moore, and maybe Schwellenbach goes to the bullpen for the playoffs. That's a pretty solid rotation even without Spencer Strider. Rizal had 3 strikeouts. He's got 31 saves. He's not allowed an earned run, and he's got a 0.78 batting average against since like June 18th or something like that. The Braves, they do keep pace with the Mets. They're both 77 and 64. So we're going to fly back to the West Coast. We're in the 5th inning of this Tigers and A's game. The Tigers, they went up by 1 on a Riley Green RBI single, but here comes the A's. Jacob Wilson, he better thank Kerry Carpenter for the free RBI triple. And Tarek, he tried to go 6 innings. He probably could have, but then again, he kind of ran out of steam. The pitch count was already up there. Daz Cameron had an RBI single the other way. Tarek gave up 9 base hits in 5 2/3, which is a testament to how well the A's have been swinging the bat lately. Spoiler, the Tigers retied it after that, so there was a wild pitch in the 7th, but we're going to skip to the 10th, where Colt Keith and Brent Rooker, they traded RBIs to again tie it. We needed a zillion innings to settle this one. Parker Meadows, the rookie, he's been as clutch as it gets over the last 72 hours. He had a go-ahead grand slam and now a go-ahead 2-run double. He's got 14 extra base hits and batting .300 since being recalled on August 3rd. Seth Brown, I'm so happy that he's found his power stroke again. Not only did he tie it with this 2-run long ball, but he walked it off in the 13th inning. He's batting .340 since July 14th. He has an almost 1,000 OPS since that point. I mean, the A's are 32 and 24 since July 1st. What's going on in Oakland? A couple weeks after Javier Baez made his long-awaited return to Wrigley, so did Anthony Rizzo. It's the first time he's back since 2021. They played his walk-up song, the walk-up song that he had with the Cubs, and then he got a big standing ovation. Then he grounded out in his first at-bat. We head to the 3rd. Gleyber and Soto, they got on for Judge, and he laced a looping curveball down the line. He's got 125 RBIs in 139 games. That is just bananas. Judgy, he's getting a lot more RBI chances because of this next guy, Austin Wells. He's been a godsend in the cleanup spot. I'm not saying that Stanton should be a 5-hitter, but he probably should be because Wells is batting .320 with the 150 OPS plus after that 2-run single as a cleanup hitter. Rizzo's probably going to save this baseball. This is his first base hit in Wrigley as a non-Cub. Now, nothing came of that. It was just a cool moment. Save this ball as well. I guess I'm being facetious. Don't save this ball. But that's the first base hit for the Cubs all game. It took 4 innings. Luis Gil was that good. That was the only base hit allowed all game. He went 6 scoreless, just 2 walks, which is big for Luis. He had 7 punch-outs on 89 pitches. Luke Weaver, is he going to be the new closing pitcher? They said that they were going to get creative in the closing role. He had 2 strikeouts, his first save. Maybe he's going to be the guy because he's been really good for them this year. The Yankees shut out the Cubs, and perhaps the Orioles felt left out, so they decided to shut out the Rays. I don't know if Colton Cowser is really this fast, but he steals 2nd. Then he got to 3rd on the errant throw. Then he decided to test Dylan Carlson's arm, which I wouldn't do. I mean, that's from shallow left. Carlson has a host piece. I mean, it worked out, so credit to Colton Cowser for wreaking some havoc on the bases. That's all that Dean Kremer needed as Jackson got the RBI on the sac fly. He then stole a base hit from Taylor Walls. He just stuck his glove out and snagged it. Dean, he finished off 6 scoreless with his 7th strikeout of the night. That is a big bounce back because he allowed 7 runs over his last 2 starts. starts. Gunnar Henderson, he is so back. It took forever for him to get his first home run in the second half, but they're coming in bunches now. His 36th of the year. He's got 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, and a .475 batting average to start the month of September. Wait, Dean went out for the 7th. He went 6-0-0? Unfortunately, he lost it trying to go for 7. He had back-to-back base hits. Yanir Cano, he came in and put out the fire. 2 strikeouts and a pop-up. Then you have Sir Anthony Dominguez with his 9th save of the year. The Orioles, they stay a half game up of New York. My favorite series of the year, the battle of the top drawer. We have Sox versus Sox, and everyone puts Sox in their top drawer, right? Like, that's just what you do. Anyways, Jacob Amaya, he was one of my favorite prospects years ago. He's been moved around a bunch. He makes it 1-0. That's when Davis Martin of the White Sox, who's been pretty good lately, he lost his command. He hit 2 Red Sox in 1 inning before allowing an RBI knock to Tristan Casas. Both starters allowed just 1 run. Davis Martin has a 2.5 ERA his last 6 starts. Nick Pivetta went 6 innings, only allowed 1 run, and he's got a whopping 147 strikeouts in about 120-ish innings. And dating back to last year, 330 strikeouts and 266 innings. That is insane. Cedar Rafaela, he's got 15 home runs, 17 stolen bases. That'll do it for this game, and I'm just praying that he can fix the walks and also the strikeout issue, and also he should just be an outfielder because he's got -7 outs above average at shortstop. Anyway, I'm not throwing shade. The Red Sox do take it as Josh Winkowski, he got a save, and they're 5 games back of Minnesota. That's because Cole Reagans put the Twins in their place. This strikeout right here is number 200 for Cole Reagans. He just became the first Royal since Zach Greinke in 2009 to have 200 strikeouts in a single season, which is crazy. Tommy Pham, this guy's going to be a thorn in the side of many teams. He's got 4 RBIs already in his first 5 games. An inning later, Minnesota, they wanted to try and tie it. Why? Again, you don't run on certain guys. Doyle, Ellie, Mason Wynn, Bobby Witt Jr. He hosed Kyle Farmer to keep it scoreless for Cole. Michael Massey is having a weird season because he's got 13 home runs in 80 games. That's pretty solid, but he just has to figure out a way to walk more because he's only walking 3.5% of the time, which is not very good. The Royals, they ran it up to 4-0. Hunter Renfroe is officially back from his IL stint. He drives in 2, while Cole Reagans, they look like each other in terms of their delivery. He made light work of Minnesota. 7 punch-outs over 6 scoreless, and the Royals' pen was just nails. 0 base hits over the final 3 innings. The Royals take it 5-0. They've won 2 games in a row. The Mariners are already winners of 2 in a row. Can they make it 3? Bryce Miller and Eric Fetty, they both locked in for 4 scoreless, and the first run didn't score until Randy lofted a sac fly in the 5th. And here's 2 more. But Fetty was out the game by then. He just threw a ton of pitches through the first 4 2/3. Dylan Moore went hacking at the first pitch. He's having a very sneaky fantasy season. He's got 10 home runs, 29 stolen bases, and a near 110 OPS plus. This Seattle staff is unreal. Bryce Miller went 6 shutout on a few base hits. He has a 3.1 ERA on the season. I hope that Jordan Walker can keep this up because he's got sky-high talent. He was once known as a super prospect. I think we can still call him that, but he just has to find the consistency. He has 2 home runs, both in the last week. Seattle, they cruised to an easy W as Cal Raleigh smoked a 2-run double down the line. That's how fast J-Rod is. It's not easy to score from first on a ball to right field. The Mariners do, in fact, pick up their 3rd W in a row. They're 4.5 games back of Minnesota for the wild card and the AL West. So the Mariners need either the Twins to keep on imploding or the Astros to implode, which doesn't seem likely at all. The Astros beat the Diamondbacks by 8, and King Tuck, he's back. So Tucker's been out since June 3rd, and of course, he gets hit in his first AB. I'm happy that nothing came of that. He's going to be okay. Arizona, they momentarily kept it scoreless after they hosed John Singleton at the dish, but Mauricio Dubon, he made it for the bad send. That is an RBI single. More bad base running. Kids, do not do what Geraldo Perdomo just did. Never, ever run on a ball in front of you if you're at second base. Anyway, we fast forward to the 5th. Yordan Alvarez, he just pimped a 3-run home run, his 31st to the 2nd deck. Jose Altuve, he added another, so he dropped in an RBI on his 3rd base hit of the night. And this guy, man, your daddy, another 3-run home run, 6 RBIs on 2 swings. He's got 32 home runs. He has a 177 OPS plus since 2022. Framber, he was on rookie mode, I guess. 7 disgusting frames, 0 runs. I mean, pitchers were really good yesterday. A bunch of strikeouts as well, 7 of them, only 2 base hits. How are you going to beat the Astros? We're going to talk about the Phillies game now because now that Kyle Tucker's back, Framber is frying while Yordan is launching home run after home run. We could very well have a repeat of the 2022 World Series. The 702 boys, they started a Philly ambush as Harper and Stott, they both drove in a run on some singles. JT and Schwarber, the exact same thing. So the Phillies are up by 4 on a bunch of one-basers. Okay, there we go. 4 bases with 1 swing. Trey, he loves this stadium dating back to the WBC. That's his 16th home run. He's still hitting 300, and this had to have hurt. JT, he did come out in the next inning, but he fouled the ball off his knee. He stayed in for the at-bat, and that's JT Realmuto in a nutshell. He is so tough. He has an RBI before being taken out. The extra base floodgates, I mean, they opened after that. Johan Rojas, he just laced an RBI double. Trey Turner, that's another RBI extra base hit for him. It's a little bloopy to shallow right field. The two-timer made it a 10 spot with an RBI single. Cody Clemens, what are you doing? 6 RBIs his last 4 games. He had an RBI double. Johan Rojas, man, if this kid gets it going, he's a generational defender. He's Bobby Witt Jr. fast. He had 3 doubles in this game. Schwarber, how many home runs is that the last week? He's got 5 in 4 games. Oh, by the way, Zach Wheeler was really good. I forgot that he was even out there. 7 strikeouts, 1 run over 6, 2 base hits. Who is going to win the NL Cy Young? Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler? The Phillies, they're the first team in baseball to 85 wins. They've won 6 in a row. The Padres are not too far behind, and not going to lie, they're kind of looking like the NL version of the Astros. So the Astros got back Kyle Tucker. Jordan has been spraying home runs, while the Padres got Tatis back, and Manny Machado is spraying home runs. So you saw San Diego go up 2 on a bad play from Tyler Fitzgerald. 2 free runs on the bad throw. Manny, 2 more runs, a 2-run home run, his first of 2 on the night, and he knew that this ball was gone. Manny, everything is going his way right now. That's his 3rd RBI of the game already. Michael King, he did give up a solo shot to Michael Conforto, but he'll live with that. A solo shot, it's not going to hurt you that bad. He locked back in. His 8th strikeout of the night ends his beauty. Pitchers were really good yesterday. 1 run over 6 innings. Again, 8 strikeouts. Michael King and Joe Musgrove look locked in. Martin Perez has been a wonderful trade. Yu Darvish just came back. Dylan Cease is Dylan Cease, and Manny is Manny. He just tied a franchise record, 163 home runs as a Padre. He's got 19 home runs, 56 RBIs, and a 305 batting average over the last handful of games. I should have wrote down the date. I forgot to, but he's a future Hall of Famer in my book. The Padres, they're 4 games back of first place after the Dodgers lost to the Guardians. Speaking of LA and another 5-1 box score, the Angels stole a pretty cool moment from Rangers fans. Elvis Andrus, he is officially retiring as a Ranger. There was the first pitch to Michael Young, a former Ranger legend. Now back to the game. Neto, this is not an RBI, but this next swing is an RBI. Nolan Schanuel, that is a big swing versus a tough lefty. He's got a 350 on base his first 159 games, and he has 12 home runs this year, so he's up and coming. Logan O'Hoppe, another young Angels hitter who is showing some big promise in the box. He drilled a 3-run home run on a changeup. He has 33 home runs over his last 171 games, so the power is legit. And then the Italian, he got his first career W. Sam Aldegari, I think that's how you say it. He struck out 7. He's the first Italian that was both born and raised in Italy to play in the big leagues, and because he's so nasty and Jose Quijada ended the game, he struck out 2 before getting Heim to fly out. He's got a 1.2 ERA. The Angels, they give Sam the first ever W by an Italian born and raised player. That's fun. Well, everyone, that does it for today's MLB recap. I appreciate all that you guys do for me. Thank you so much for helping growing the game of baseball. Make sure you guys check out my editor's YouTube channel, Pesky Talk. He posts a lot of fun stuff over there. I hope you guys enjoyed, and check out the web gems.
Ground ball, diving play. Norby keeps it on the infield and gets the out at first.
To third, or Shelley's going to have to hurry. Oh, what a... And in the center, PCA slides, and he makes the catch. 2 and a ground ball deep short. Cedar will zip it in time.
Ground ball, third base. Great opportunity for Young, and he throws a strike to...
That's hit in the air to right. Long run for Walker, still coming. Foul ground, slides.